A salute to a cerebral broadcaster, Todd Feinberg. It's been airing on WTIC for 2.5 years now, and last Friday, just a gem of wisdom in his second hour, telling us that we are, in the United States today, socialist. He recognizes that socialism has pervaded. They've won at least a lot of ground in our education system, in our healthcare system, in our welfare system, in our retirement system. Socialists have received such high ground that that's seemingly the norm. Folks, it's not the norm. And what it leads to is an openness to something far worse, because socialism, though pernicious, still lets us live our lives, still lets America be the engine of prosperity for its people. Not so leftism. Leftism is the bringing down of successful countries like ours, the bringing down of capitalism, which creates the wealth. It lets socialists be socialist. Capitalism allows all other isms. But the leftists do not want that, and they are gobbling up political territory. They are devouring my party. The Democrat Party, which could be a decent stand-up against the left. Unfortunately, its leaders cave. There are many of us who fight against it, and I do have a solution, and I mentioned it on Todd's show. Conservatives, and libertarians, and normal Democrats should spout off within the Democrat Party. Come, conservatives. It's a welcoming party. They welcome all views, as Nancy Pelosi says. So how about the view of one Thomas Jefferson and the many presidents and leaders who succeeded him in the 19th century, really up until the 1930s, who would argue against leftism, that big statism is not good and not American. Do not be fooled. It was in the 1930s that the most prosperous country in the world at that time got fooled. Yeah, that was Germany. Germany had it all. And maybe because of its wealth at the time, ended up succumbing to messages of the Nazi Party that ended up taking it over and destroying the country. Soviets were somewhat like that 20 years earlier than that. The United States is teetering on an ethic that leaves us ripe for destruction. We used to be special enough to get the best immigrants who would work really hard. Now we let them all in. We used to be good enough, individualized enough, to let the best domestics rise based on merit. Now, we keep many of our best domestic-born people down. It's hard to start a business. It's hard to work and save. It's hard to have a family of even 2 children. That's because socializing costs, the big cost of government, keeps people from saving. We're the group, yes, still some within the Democrat Party, that instead of raising your taxes, wants to lift incomes, or lift consumers anyway, by cutting taxes. We're the group that says ending welfare is good for everybody. We reside, still, in the Democrat Party that could be a bulwark against the leftists. Make no mistake, they're the ones that want to bring America to its heels. They're not just socialists. They aspire not to Switzerland, but to Swaziland, backward country in Africa. They aspire not to the distributionists of Ireland, but to Indonesia, an almost equally backward country, where they don't care about standard of living, because they want to empower thugs and keep things at the expense of people's growth. Don't be fooled. I'm Mark Stewart. This has been Roger Daltrey, Pete Townsend, John Entwistle, and Keith Moon, also known as